Greetings, everybody, and welcome. I am Arbor Time, and this is What is Rimworld? Just a little bit of an introduction to the game if you don't know the game, a little bit of a basics on how to get started in creating your game, and what to look for in the settings to make your game the way you want, because there are a lot of options to the starting sequence of this game, especially now with the current Alpha 14 release on Steam. And that's a big part of what I'm doing right here today. I just want to get into a little bit of a discussion about what this game has become with the newest release on Steam. It just happened last week. A lot of people are hyped, and a lot of people are hearing about this game for the first time, including some of my own friends who are like, hey, I'm watching this Rimworld Let's Play. And I'm like, on my channel? Like, no. I'm like, how dare you? But that being said, I do have a few series on this channel. I got this game, I guess over a year ago. Yeah, definitely over a year ago. And I've been playing the different versions coming out leading up to, thankfully, the freaking Steam release. Alpha 14, which is amazing. I'm loving it. So here's the basic screen. You can hear the lovely music, and you can see this planet. A distant Rimworld somewhere far out in the galaxy in the far distant future, and a spaceship down here crashing on the planet. That's basically the basic story of Rimworld. Colonists landing on a planet and their attempts at survival and defense as they try to make it in the world, with the end goal being to get off the planet and to fly off for more adventures in space. But here's the basic options over here. Let's go look at the options real quick, because I'm going to do this. Actually, one thing I should mention beforehand, I do have the dev tools on up here. You can see these little buttons up here. They are the dev tools. You can turn them on and off in development mode right here. There we go. That will allow you more customization and a few different things within the game as well. You can just spawn random. It's basically God mode for the game. So if you're new to the game, if you're just trying it out, playing around, you're not willing to get super serious and into it yet, then throw that on, because you might be like, oh crap, I'm going to run out of food and die. Why not just spawn in a bunch of food? It's like a creative mode, I guess you could say, if you're a Minecrafter, something like that. But anyways, folks, here are all the customization and options that you could need. I'm a Let's Player, so I've got the volumes turned down quite a bit. But what I did want to show you basically is a little bit more further into the game. If we go into, let's just go new colony. Let's talk about this, the scenario settings for the newest version. This is the basic one I was talking about. 3 crash-landed survivors, the classic Rimworld experience. The 3 of you awake in your crypto-slip sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to the escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you land on this unknown Rimworld. So you start with 3 people. You start with a bit of silver, which will allow you to buy and trade things with traders who happen across your little colony. You get a few meals to start out with, so you don't have to worry about food on the first day. A few medicines, some components for building machines and stuff, and 2 ranged weapons, a rifle, a pistol, and 1 melee, a knife, or maybe something else, you never know. Usually it's a knife, I think. You get 1 random pet, it's usually a dog, sometimes a cat, and you get a bit of steel and a bit of wood to start building your initial rooms and stuff like that, or whatever you want, really. You also have things that are going to be scattered on the map, ship chunks where you can get components, some steel and survival meals just scattered about. These things you can pick up and use to your advantage later on. Now, the other 2 scenarios were just added for this, so they're a little bit more new. I'm not as well acquainted with them, but the first one's called The Rich Explorer. One rich explorer out to experience the universe. People call you crazy for leaving your glitter world home, which is like super rich planets, I guess. But you always yearn to explore the stars outside the neurosimulator. Now you're at the end of your long journey in crypto sleep, landing on an unknown Rimworld to see what it's like. Your faction will be a colony. You start with 1 person. Start with research of gun turrets, which is kind of helpful for security, especially since you're 1 person. It's a little crazy. I cannot wait to try this version out, this scenario out, though. It's going to be awesome and super challenging. You get a bunch of silver, a little bit of gold, few meals, really good medicines, components, charge rifle, which is a great weapon, a random pet, which hopefully would be a defensive pet, which will help you, and a bunch of steel and a bunch of wood. So that's pretty great. That's like a rich guy going out there and trying to fend for himself. I assume people will join your colony eventually, but yeah, starting off with one, super challenging. It sounds awesome. And this is the one I've been playing on my latest Let's Play, and it's pretty fun. You start off with a tribe of people. 5 lost tribes people attempt to rebuild. I think I started with 6 or 7. You can adjust things as you go in. Scenario editor over here. But your tribe was destroyed by the great blood machine sent by the gods. 5 of you managed to escape. Now it's time to build up a new home. Your faction will be a tribe. Start with 5 people. Start with a bit of silver. Pemmican, which is like a food that doesn't go bad. I picture it like jerky a little bit. Dried food. Herbal medicines. Wooden club. Wooden spear. Jade knife. Short bow pila. Random pets. And some wood. So very little, no steel, stuff like that. It's kind of interesting starting off like that. I did a little bit of a tweaked version of that just because I wanted to fit my storyline a little bit, which is great. You can do that kind of thing now in the scenario editor. You can go to edit mode over here, and then you can change even the title and your description. So the initial things that I just read, kind of, you can change what they say on your way in. Player factions, starting people, and different kind of options, all the options. You can start with different amounts of things, different materials of things. You can get 100 pets if you want, although feeding them would be kind of a hassle. So those are the 3 new scenarios and their customization. Super cool, super interesting. Now I do want to get into something, so let's do a basic one. We'll just go to next. This is the next option. Now there are 3 different settings, 3 different storytellers, which is, it kind of seems like difficulty, but it's actually game style. The difficulty are these 5 options right here. Now, the first one, Phoebe Chillax. Phoebe gives lots of time between disasters to relax and build her colony, but beware, if she's set at a high challenge scale, she'll hit as hard as anyone. So she is more just about being relaxed, you know? You don't have to worry about getting raided every 2 seconds or every couple days or whatever. You kind of just focus on that. Lots of time between disasters is the main idea there. So from there you have these 5 difficulty settings for each of the different storytellers: free play, base builder, rough, challenge, and extreme. Now I've gone to rough. I don't even think I've ever gone to challenge, and it gets pretty crazy. But in free play, it focuses on colony in a sandbox life, building a colony in a sandbox-like environment. Threats appear, but they're very weak. Then the threats get a little tougher, and then the threats get pretty tough, and less bonuses to your colonist moods and crop yields. I guess they give you a little bit of a buff in the initial ones, so it's a bit easier. And then in challenge, the challenge definitely gets pumped up. The way Rimworld was meant to be played. Oh man, that makes me want to do it all the more. I'm going to get wrecked though. And then here's extreme. Enemies are strong, prices are poor, food is scarce, colonists are grumpy for those who enjoy digital suffering. Amazing. And there also is a permadeath mode set up so that you can, I don't know, feel empty when your colonists are all wrecked and you're just like, all those hours I put in, worth nothing. But let's go back to the other storytellers. So that's Phoebe Chillax. You got Cassandra Classic here, which is your middle of the road kind of lady. The challenge settings are the exact same. It's just that Cassandra Classic creates story events on a steadily increasing curve of challenge and tension. So it's kind of like, it makes sense. The pacing is there for you. And then there's this guy, old Randy Random, who has a sweet, you know, looks like a sunburn tattoo on the side of his head. I don't know. Smoking a cigarette. I really like his jacket, though. Honestly, I feel like I should dress up like this guy for Halloween. I like how he looks. He's got that bionic hand. That's pretty sweet. But Randy doesn't follow the rules. He'll generate random events, and he doesn't care if they make a story of triumph or utter hopelessness. It's all drama. He just doesn't give an F. But this guy, same difficulty ratings. It just means that stuff's going to happen willy-nilly. You could get 2 raids at once. You could get a blight of your crops. They all go away at the same time as a raid, or a lightning storm and a warg attack. It's insane. It's just crazy. So that's your basic, your basic characters and stuff. I'm going to just go into Randy Random on Challenge and see what happens. So this is your Create World seed. You'll be able to put in a code here if you want. Any kind of letters or numbers, I believe. You could randomize it. Anything you want. Yoshi. Cool. There's different sizes. You can pick up to 400 by 300. Kind of depending on what you want. Some of the higher ones experience a bit of lag in my experience, I should say. But at the same time, I haven't really tried them on the new release. So maybe it's been fixed. Who knows? I know they've done a lot of work before this release on kind of just the fine-tuning of the game, bug fixes and things like that. So maybe it's good. You're just going to have to find out. Or I will eventually down the road. But there we go. I'm just going to generate a world. So it comes up with this little map here. And you get a little map of your seed, which is name is up here. And your little seed title is over here. You can go to the different modes, which shows biomes, different elevations, full, not even sure what that means, and then rainfall per area and temperature. So I usually stick with biomes. You can kind of see different areas. Hey, wait, do I? Maybe I'll go with full. Yeah, you can see the mountains and stuff. That's what that's about. So you can zoom in using your scroll wheel or use your scroll wheel to click and drag around to different areas. So you can see different biomes. Let's click and drag. This is you can see your stats along the side, coordinates, elevation, temperatures, the biome, temperate forest, terrain, flat, rainfall, stone types, and growing period. I usually only pay attention to whether there's mountains, trees, like this is a rainforest, so there's trees, temperate forest, a bunch of trees. This is going to be a tundra, maybe not as many trees. Desert, definitely not many trees. There's cactus there that you can get though. These little brown guys are the mountains, so you can see like there's a little bit of mountain there and a lot of mountain there. All this blue is obviously water because, you know, it's a map. That's how maps work. And then there's these little guys, faction bases, green friendly and red not friendly, I believe. So they might come and interact with you at certain points, either raiding or coming to trade, stuff like that. And what else? Yeah, the only thing I usually really look for is I look at the growing period and I try to find year round because it's a hassle to try and get hydroponics going and stuff before winter hits. But that's usually the only thing I really look for to give myself a little bit of a leg up on the world. If you go into advanced setting again, you can kind of change your map size and starting seasons to be what you want them to be. And that's it. Once you pick a place, you select the site and you get your colonist choice. So there are 3 picked at random colonists. You can look at them, see how their health is doing. We got a little bit of crypto sleep sickness because we've been trapped on a ship for who knows how long. You can tell that the colonists have been in suspended animation in space because they have a chronological age and a biological age, which 4187. So you have been in crypto sleep for 46 years, something like that. Anywho, that's interesting always to look at. You see this person 113. They can get really, really old sometimes. They got names. You can change their names at this point if you want. In the future, if you get more colonists added to your colony, you can only change their nickname, but that's kind of what they're referred to as anyway, so it's kind of the only important part. You can see a bit of their backstory. You can see male or female colonists, their ages, see a bit of their backstory, where they came from. Worked as a digger in the massive underground cave complex and became a psychiatric patient, which is interesting. It's good to have you on the team, my friend. He was in an insane asylum. There's little backstories that are super interesting. This game, those fine details, man, those fine details of storytelling really immerse one into the game. Incapable of tells you what kind of skills they don't have, so what kind of tasks they will not be able to do based on the skills they have. You can see here there's a 0 at shooting, and there's a line here. The 0 means he can shoot, just terrible at it. Unaware is basically a good way to put it, as it is there. Social means disabled. Can't do it, never gonna do it, never gonna talk to anybody. It makes sense given the past here. That's kind of what it's based on. So can't do medicine, can't do social, can't craft, can't research. Really good with animals, which is awesome. These little fires here, the little and bigger fires, this means that there's a small passion for this thing. They will learn things a bit faster, and they will enjoy doing those things. This is a big passion, a big burning passion for construction. So this would be a good person to put on constructing and animal handling. Pretty much that's about it, though. Give them a knife or something, and hopefully they can defend themselves when it comes to it. The traits down here will tell you a little bit about how they're going to treat, life and their other colonists, which is pretty important. So being depressive is kind of bad. They're not going to be happy about stuff. They might even affect other people when they're unhappy. And they love the heat, so you can see some kind of different things. Green Thumb, they're good at gardening. Night Owl likes to work at night. Super interesting kind of stuff there. When you get into the game, you can adjust their schedules. And this person's a psychopath. So there's a psychopath and a person who was in a psychiatric hospital. This person's just a refugee drifter. Wow. This would be an interesting Let's Play, I think. Let's get into the world, and I'll show you a little bit about how the super basics of the game go, how it starts out, and then if you want to see more, I did do a little series a few alphas back called Rimworld Basics. There is a playlist. Oh yeah, and also I haven't updated on Steam yet, so I think you still got a few little bugs going on. Mueller died. What? What was that about? Anyways, I do have a Rimworld's Basics, so if you want to see a Let's Play kind of focusing on steps on how to survive and thrive, I should use that term, I guess, then you can go check that out on my channel called Rimworld Basics. And I have a few Let's Plays going through the different alpha versions. But the three of you wake in your crypto sleep sarcophagi. This is that same thing I read before. Landing on the Rimworld, the ship has crashed, exploded, we land here. We all have crypto sleep sickness. And boom, here we come in our little pods. Our three people. And, oh look, a kitty cat. We got a kitty cat. So here it is. There's a big old map. You can scroll around using the WASD keys. You can see there's a few ship parts here, which you can go about deconstructing if you want. As you can see, I just pressed this button down here to deconstruct. You can also use X. See, they have little keystrokes in there as well to help people out. Here's some animals. Boomalopes. The name Boomalope is earned by... well, yeah, go kill one. You'll see what happens. There's monkeys here on the map. There's some emus. Wow, look at that, emus. Some warthogs, or wild boars, I guess. Some elephants, pretty cool. And all these animals can either be tamed or hunted, both of which could incur the wrath of said animal, depending on the animal. There are a ton of monkeys on this map right now. All these are little rocks that you can collect, and, they're basically boulders that you can eventually turn stone cut into bricks and start using for building. Here's some steel laying on the ground. As you can see, it has a little X on it, so that means it is currently not allowed, forbidden, so the colonists won't mess with it. If you press F on that, or come down here and hit this button, forbidden, it will unforbid it. So your colonists will go pick that up and put it into a storage spot, which you can make in your colony. Oh my goodness, there's a dang turkey over here. That's amazing. Okay, so where did my colonists go? Okay, so we've got, all these are mountains, of course. Here's a little, looks like a room, but there's something in that room. I guess we're going to have to find out what it is. So we've crash landed with our basic supplies. We have all this stuff here. Silver, some steel, some components, a few meals, some medicine. I'm just going to allow all that stuff. We're going to look at our character, which we look, here's our list. We looked at this before a little bit, but now we can kind of do this with an eye to who can do what. Wow, no one's good at shooting. That's crazy. You probably are. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you this, and we're going to give you... Man, you really just can't do anything, can you? We'll give you the gun, I guess. You got a couple psychos here. This is going to be bad. So that's it. That's basically it. Everybody's geared up with weapons. That's great. That's great. We got wood laying around. We got some more steel laying around over here. So I've allowed all that stuff. And yeah, basically now it's on. They're going to basically do what they need to do. You got to go into the work section here and tell them what to do or what not to do. There's also manual priorities. You can, from left to right, and in a scale of 1, 2, 3, or 4, select what you want them to do. Right clicking will go one way, left clicking goes the other way. And yeah, there's plenty to do. The beginning of the game is going to teach you... Oh, ancient danger. It's going to teach you what to do. You're going to want to make beds. You're going to want to build a room, stuff like that along the side. It'll give you a few hints. If you press escape, this will pop up. You can load, save game. Go to your options. At any point, you can go into your options and change your storyteller, which is pretty cool. I think that's a good choice because you might get in there and find out that it's insane. It's insane. But there is a ton to learn. As you can see, there's tabs all along the bottom with different things. Orders, zones, just tons and tons of stuff to do. That's just one of them. Work orders. Here's that restrictions telling them what to do. You want to do anything all day? Cool. I'm going to make sure you sleep at some point. I'm going to get you some joy at some point. You're going to work all this time. And then you can copy that and paste it down to other colonists if you have like a system you want to use. For everybody, it's an interesting choice. I usually just do this. Let everybody do whatever they want all the time. I'll say, so we opened up this area. I wonder what's in this. Maybe we should find out what's in this little sarcophagi. An ancient cryptosleep casket. It looks like there's a bug hive in here. That doesn't look very safe, does it? Oh geez, people are in here. Are you happy? Are you angry? Do you hate me or do you like me? I can't tell. Are you just gonna escape? Wow, this is crazy. Usually, like, something will come out of those things and just kill you. So, the fact that we just have a room off the top and maybe some extra colonists, that's pretty interesting. I'm gonna put this stuff down. I'm gonna put an animal sleeping spot down. And we're pretty much just gonna call that. I don't think I'm even gonna play this. I might come back to it. I'm gonna save at some point. I might come back to this eventually. But I've got another Let's Play going. I got too much stuff to do right now. But just going through the rest of these, there's an animal tab, so we can see that our cat named Auntie-Love is here. We don't want to slaughter it. We can't even tame it or train it or anything. That's crazy. Where's that cat? Cat, you can't be trained? I mean, it makes sense. You can't really train a cat, can you? Man, that sucks. Is it because we don't have a handler? Yeah, no, you great a handler. Dang it. Oh, well, that's going to be it for this episode / introduction. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. If you did, be sure to come check out the rest of my channel if you like Rimworld videos. I got lots more. And until next Armor Time, you guys, thank you for joining me. I have been Armor Time. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Peace.